Okay, so today is Thursday, September 12th. Is this the first? No, this can't be the first time I've done one of these actually in my car this year. It's definitely been the first time in a while, but I feel like I had to have done it sometime in like January or February or so. I've been wanting to, but it's so fucking hot. But it's like 70 degrees out. It's nice. And now that I've got this phone holder that I'm using, I don't have to just hold my phone when I'm in the car. This is a nice setup. This is fucking game changing. So here we go. The first car talk Thursday in a while. Maybe the first of the year. And it feels really good to be back in the car recording. So, updates on some stuff. I guess the first thing I want to talk about is the dream I had last night. I remember a few weeks ago, I was like, all right, I got to start with my dream because it was really unpleasant. And I woke up really early in the morning and I just feel miserable. And today, it's not a miserable dream. It was like a dream. Like, here is just some weird shit happening, which leads to some more weird shit happening. So the way it started is I'm hanging out and I'm watching like Sports Center, TMZ. I'm watching something about a sports figure. And for whatever reason, it's Kirk Cousins from quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Fuck the Falcons. It wasn't like any kind of scandal or anything. It was just like some report on Kirk. I don't remember specifically what it was. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I turn it off and I go hang out with my friends. And I think we go see a movie. I don't remember what I want to say it was a Project Horizons movie. Like, pinning that, I have some shit to say about Horizons. But, I think it was a Project Horizons movie. And then after the movie, I split up with most of my friends. Like, I'm hanging out with my friend Wyatt, and everyone else is just kind of doing whatever after the movie. And Wyatt and I end up coming across an acquaintance of ours, who is not someone that I recognize from my real life. This is just someone my brain came up with, but in the dream, it was, oh, this is an acquaintance of mine. It's not someone that Wyatt and I are like especially close to, but we know the dude, we like the dude. So we talked to him for a bit, and he invites us to a birthday. It was either his birthday or his brother's birthday. I don't remember which. But we were like, sure, we kind of got nothing to do. That sounds fun. We do like this guy. Let's go. We go, and it's at this like really nice restaurant, or it's like this cabin, because it was up on a mountain. That's weirdly important. And it turns out that his brother was Kirk Cousins, so that ended up coming back weirdly enough. So I hung out with Kirk Cousins, Wyatt, and Kirk Cousins' brother, my acquaintance, who at some point during all of this, I think it's because he was like jealous that I was paying more attention to Kirk Cousins than I was to him. He got angry and he like hulked out, but he didn't turn into the Hulk. He turned into Godzilla. And, like I said, it's a dream. Just weird shit was happening. Because Godzilla now appeared, the government had to get involved. And I remember specifically, like, a helicopter on the mountain that was, like, attacking Godzilla. And even though he turned into Godzilla because he was mad at me, I'm still like, no, this is still my friend. My acquaintance, but it's still my bro. Like, we gotta get out of this. So the plan we have to escape is, of course, we gotta, like, skateboard down the mountain. And I don't remember if this was, like, my avatar in the dream, or me as, like, the attached audience member watching the dream, but some part of me was like, this feels like some shit I'd see in Rocket Power, which I feel like is the first time I thought of Rocket Power in, I can't say like several years, because with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, like, all right, like thinking of Nickelodeon shows, like, yeah, Rocket Power is one of those. But it feels like the first time I've thought about Rocket Power in the last 365 days. So then the main cast of Rocket Power just appeared real quick. That was Auto Rocket, Reggie Rocket, Maurice Twister, and was it Sammy, I think was the other. They just kind of like showed up, gave us some gear, and then we all were skateboarding down the mountain. Again, like me, my friend Wyatt, Kirk Cousins, and Godzilla on a fucking skateboard. And the image of Godzilla skateboarding down a mountain with a helicopter chasing him was kind of fucking amazing. But we end up skateboarding down the mountain. We're all safe. Tensions have kind of eased up. And I don't know. I think it was me who says something along the lines of like, hey, it's all's well that ends well. Looks like everything's okay. And then my Godzilla buddy is kind of like, hey, I'm still mad at you though. And then he steps on me. And the tree it was fucking weird, but it was funny. It was bizarre. It was, like I said, I was like, this is what dreams are all about. Not just like, these are the things I want to achieve in life kind of dreams. No, just the weird fucking shit that your mind can come up with. And I love it. I had a blast. And that's a good segue into talking about House, which I made a video on, so I'm not going to go super deep into it right now. I watched House, a couple nights ago. It was phenomenal, fantastic. I don't remember if I actually said this in my video. I think in the video, I was like, I think this is probably my favorite movie I've seen this year. The more I think about it, I'm like, this might be one of my favorite movies. I feel like House is the kind of movie that makes me, no, because I did say it, because I was talking about the, what's his name? It's like Roger something, I forget the last name, but he was the co-screenwriter of Pulp Fiction, who was talking about the Konosuba movie. It's like, this is one of the best experiences I've ever had in a cinema. I think this is why cinema was invented. And that's how I felt watching House. This is just sheer balls to the wall creativity on display, and someone having a vision and saying, I want to make this. This is how I'm going to do it. And I talk about The Room being one of my favorite movies of all time. Unfortunately, ironically so, because I think it is a genuinely terrible film, but it's so entertaining and it's so funny. The Room feels like someone who is aware of movies but has never really seen a movie trying to make their own movie. And it doesn't work. House, in its own weird way, is kind of similar, but it does work. And it's I'm going to do this the way, both of them feel like I've got a vision and I'm going to execute it my way. One of them is a jumbled mess. The other is a psychedelic nightmare episode of Scooby-Doo. And it's one of the greatest things I think I've ever experienced. I loved it. And I feel like not in a whole year, but in a couple month period of frustrations and disappointments, The Bar, not to say that was a disappointment. I haven't got my results back. That's tomorrow. But it's a frustration. The thing was ass. And wanting to play Conquer for so long. No, this game kind of sucks. Being really interested in Skinamarink, and it was fine. Wanting to play Xenogears for years and quick pin in that. But as I've said, I didn't like the game. I'm still watching the story. I'm I'm not having fun with this. Man. I was really interested in watching the Tiny Senpai show, and I was like, this is so bland. It's so bland. It's terrible kind of shit. Not to say that everything has been a disappointment. I liked Abigail a lot. Atlanta was phenomenal. But having something that was just unambiguously, again, just kind of like the final season of Atlanta, it's it restored my faith in art and that I can experience something new. And no, it can live up to expectation. It can be great. It's a good feeling. Also, I haven't done a video on it yet, because I watched it last night. I haven't had the chance to. I finally watched Black Swan. I guess I didn't watch it last night. It was more in the afternoon. Anyways, I watched Black Swan yesterday, which kind of with some of these other things, like Xenogears, Skinamarink, and Conquer, I've been interested in for quite a while, since it came out, and I finally fucking saw it. It's interesting. And not just in the, thematically, plot-wise. It's watching the movie for about 2/3 of it, I thought, this is all right. I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. I can see what they're doing here. I don't know. I had the movie basically pitched to me as Perfect Blue, but with ballet. And to me, it's that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. This movie's gonna be amazing. And the elements are there, but I'm it's it's all right. I'm not loving it. And then once the Night on Terror sequence happens, about the last 30 or so minutes of the movie, it goes from, like, this is good to, there it is. Like, this is the movie I thought I was gonna be getting. And then in hindsight, though, like, after a few hours kind of thinking about it, looking back on the previous parts of the movie, I'm like, okay, the last 30 minutes or so is more in your face with it. But it is throughout the movie, and like thinking about it and comparing it to Perfect Blue, I still prefer Perfect Blue. It's genuinely one of my favorite movies of all time. This still feels like it stands on its own. I can see like there are definite similarities, but also notable differences, and not just because one's about ballet and one's about being an idol and then an actress. Just the way that Mima and Nina's, the way their psyches are presented are very different to me. And then the stresses that they're going through, while similar, still feel unique. Like Black Swan, Clay didn't watch the whole movie with me. He kind of just like walked in during the last 30 minutes because he was taking a nap. And he's like, from what I've seen and the way you've described it, it sounds a little less like Perfect Blue and more like Whiplash. And I can see that. Like, it's kind of both. It's like this combination of the two of them. Even though I'm pretty sure it came out like a couple years before Whiplash. But like, I get similar vibes, and I think that's really cool. It's definitely a movie I feel like I want to talk about in more depth. I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow. I was gonna say tonight, and then it came out as tomorrow. I'm like, well, no, like there's a football game tonight. It's probably gonna be tomorrow, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me take out the Xenogears pin real quick. I'm about halfway through the story. Like, I'm not on disc 2 yet. Actually, no, I think I'm over halfway, because I'm watching all the cutscenes. There's 117 videos worth. I'm on 70? No, I'm on like 70. I think I'm on like 76 or 77, because I think I've got about 40 episodes to go. So, progress hasn't been as fast as I'd like, and I'll kind of get into that in a bit. It's not necessarily a Xenogears thing, it's just more of I haven't been as productive in the last week as I would have liked, but it is what it is. When I am watching the story, though, I do enjoy it. I feel like I'm at a point where I'm like, I like this. I like some of the themes that are going on. I like some of the setup. There have been a lot. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear it. There's a siren. I don't know if there's it sounds more like an ambulance, but I don't know. Maybe it's a fire truck. Actually, it kind of sounds maybe a bit more like a fire truck. There's a fire station like right over there. There's a hospital right over there. So I tend to hear a lot of emergency vehicles over here. Anyway, oh fuck, that is getting loud. Anyways, my point. Yeah, there it is. There's the fire. I don't know. There's no way you could have seen it, but it was a fire truck. I was right. I've become kind of a connoisseur of sirens in this area. Anyways, to my point, like I said like twice already, I guess you could take a shot if I say it again. I like a lot of the themes that I can see. I am enjoying the story and the cast. My favorite parts are when I can see the weird connections to the other games. For example, when Maria is introduced, I was like, wait a second. I don't know, she kind of looks like Melia? And I don't know if that's intentional. It's like, the names are kind of similar in their own way. I don't know if that's a thing, but I can kind of see it. And I was also like, wait a second. Doesn't she kind of look like that one girl from Xenosaga 3 who just like shows up in like the mine, I think, in I think it's in Old Milsha. She just shows up, has a robot, you fight her, and then you never see her again. She kind of had nothing to do with the plot. She was just there. Like, I don't know. She kind of looks like her. What was that character's name? So I looked her up on like the Xeno Wiki. I'm like, no, yeah, that just looks like Maria. And then I'm going into the trivia. Like, yeah, this character was very clearly based on Maria. Just kind of for shits and giggles. Like, what the hell? Like, this is neat. I love shit like that. And again, like those playing Xenosaga and seeing Abel, I'm like, that character is Faye. And then seeing the painting of Sophia, and they're like, oh, this is Ellie. I'm like, no, that's Nephilim. What the fuck? That's the shit that I find that I am loving about like reading, watching Xenogears. And I know there's gonna be a point where it just gets weird and it gets crazy and it gets good. Not to say it hasn't been good, but I feel like it's been good. It's been solid. But from what I understand, around disc 2, like the end of disc 1 into disc 2 is when it gets amazing. It's legendary for like all the chair and shit, but apparently like the story itself gets phenomenal, and I'm so excited for that. Sorry, my hand is being like very movie and shaky today. Yeah. Anyways, that's the Xenogears pin. Let me do the Horizons pin. So, if you've noticed, I haven't done a video on Horizons in quite a while. That's not because I haven't been reading it. I've finished chapter 7, 8, 9. Excuse me. I was actually listening to chapter 10 before I was like, all right, I got here, let me record. I've got about 20 minutes of it left. Hoping to finish it today, so that's 4 Horizons videos I need to record. It's just a matter of getting into the mood to record it. And not like, oh man, I have to get into a mood, but okay, I have to make sure that my phone is charged and available. At the same time, my computer is charged and available because I got my notes on that. I'm really glad that I've been doing that with my computer. I like writing my CCT and RTT notes, but I feel like I have so much shit that I talk about in a lot of my videos. It's nice to be able to just, yeah, why don't I just do this? Because my previous spot wasn't super comfortable or conducive to that. And honestly, I think in the car, it's going to be similar. But the spot that I'm currently using in Clay's house, like, oh no, there's a perfect spot for the computer. I'm cooking with this. So I gotta make sure that's charged, and also that I have time, because I know if you followed my channel, and if you do, I really appreciate it, but if you followed my channel, you know, I am loquacious to a fault. I didn't expect to spend an hour talking about Tiny Senpai and why so many other shows are better, but I did. I probably could have been like 20 minutes if I was really trying to do it, but I'm like, no, I've got a lot of shit to say. And there's always a lot of shit okay, I can't say always. I don't feel like I have a lot to say about chapter 9. It's good, it's fine. But I like chapter 7, I feel like there's a lot to say. Chapter 8, I have a pretty decent amount to say. There's so much shit to talk about in chapter 10. Like, yeah, these are 45 minutes feels like the short end of a Horizons video. So I gotta make sure my shit is charged, that I've got time, and that I'm in the mood for wanting to record for that long. I don't know when I'm gonna do these. I wanted to do them over the weekend, at least like do 7 and 8, and I didn't. I'm off tomorrow. Maybe I could get like 1 or 2 done like I'm fucking supposed to. But I am still reading it. Videos will come. Am I enjoying it? Yeah. I mean, like, it's Horizons. I have my problems. I have my criticisms. But I feel like rereading especially these last few chapters. I think the first few are... I'm not going to go super deep into it because I've already done that several times in the individual chapters. I feel like Blackjack's morality is meant to be kind of ambiguous because she's figuring it out, but to me, it feels less that it's ambiguous, and it's just inconsistent, like, depending on, this is kind of what we need for the chapter to work, so we're gonna do this. Around chapter 7 is when it feels like it's kind of getting more ironed out. It's like, this is what her morality is going forward, and we're seeing her try to adhere to that. And I feel like it's made these last few chapters a lot more interesting to read. I feel like Blackjack, while she still has her moments, is that she's a lot more likable as a result. And again, just some of the like big picture moments, because I've read this fucking thing before, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I don't want to say that's a fun bit of foreshadowing, but I can see the foreshadowing going here. And then with the lucidity lens, again, there's moments where I'm like, that's really fucking interesting to me. I think this is kind of what this character represents as a whole, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, that's going. What What the hell does that say? Oh, that says how soon. It's like Hansel. And why am I talking about Hansel and Gretel? Oh. Okay, so one thing I do have to say is multiverses, and if I don't know how well you can see, but like the notes are in black except for 3 words. Blossom is written in red, Bubbles is written in blue, and Buttercup is written in green. I had said, like, once this game was announced, even before it was formally announced, when it was was it Leffen that leaked the game? I don't remember, but it was whoever, no, it was Hungry Box. I think that was it, when Box leaked the game, and there was like a Reddit thread talking about the game's like, here's all the shit going on, that's what the game's supposed to be about. My number 1 pick was, I want the Powerpuff Girls, because I watched the Powerpuff Girls growing up, and that show was fun as hell. And like, these are characters that would be really cool. I don't know how they want to do the characters, if they're separate and they all kind of have their own different move sets, if it's gonna be like a Pokemon trainer thing where you switch between them, where it's like stock 1 is Blossom, stock 2 is Bubble, stock 3 is Buttercup kind of thing, and they all kind of play the same, just their own skins. If it's you play as one and the other 2 are skins, which would be shitty, or if it's somehow a 3-in-1, they are a 3-in-1, because we got the actual gameplay trailer today, and they look fun. They do actually look kind of fun. I'm like, all right. I haven't been playing this game because, I mean, a couple reasons. Number 1 is like I'm studying for the bar. Number 2, now that I'm not studying for the bar, I've got a lot of other shit to do and catch up on. And number 3, it's fine. I like it. I don't love it. And like, I feel like because this is a character that's been so heavily teased and leaked, like once they drop the Powerpuff Girls, I want to really get into the game. I had said for a long time about All-Star Brawl. I was like, what the fuck is the name of Nickelodeon Smash? Nickelodeon Smash. If they add Blue or Steve from Blue's Clues, I am going to play the hell out of it. I'm starting to get a little sweaty. It's a little warm. If they add a Blue's Clues character, I mean, if they have like Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper, like I wouldn't be super hyped. Like, okay, like he gave me a Blue's Clues character, but why not Blue? She's right there. This is my Blue. I'm like, all right, let's go to work. I am excited. When does the season start? I think it's the 17th is what they said. That's 5 days. All right, let me count. Friday the 13th. Yes, that's Sunday? No, wait. Yeah, it's the 17th, not the 15th. Sorry, I was getting my wires crossed. So I think Tuesday, which I think is generally when seasons do start. Saying that out loud, it's kind of weird that they don't start on like a Monday, but I think Tuesday is when the characters will come out. So I'm usually off on Tuesdays. I'll probably just buy them, and I don't like that. But I know I'm gonna do it because this is the character I really want to play. And like, they got a Rowdy Rough Boy skin. I'm like, that's neat as hell. Like, I don't want to say I'm gonna buy it, but I might. If it's like, all right, this is the battle pass. It's like you get the character and at the end you get the skin. I might do that. I don't want to, but I probably will. But I wanted to bring that up. They also announced, like, Nubia is coming to the game, who's a character I'm not familiar with. I won't lie, because of my non-familiarity with her, I'm not, like, excited for her, but I'm not like, oh, no, she could be really cool. There's a lot of speculation that there'll be a 3rd character, either Marcy, because she's been leaked and, like, found in the data, Raven, who I don't think we've seen a model for Raven in the data, unless that's, like, a very recent thing. But some people were saying, like, oh, at the end of the trailer, it looked like you could see something for Raven. At the end of the trailer, it shows, like, the Powerpuff Girls, Nubia, and then, like, the Powerpuff Girls phone in the corner. And I've seen a couple people be like, okay, the phone is probably there as just a Powerpuff Girls reference. It might also be because there's going to be a 3rd character who they don't want to show off yet. Like, I don't know, maybe that's a thing. That'd be neat. The last season only had 2 characters, Jack and Beetlejuice. Season 1 had Joker, Jason, Smith, and Banana Guard. So it's not that they only have 2 characters at a time. Maybe it is a third that they'll announce. I don't know. My guess is, because it seems like it's about a season a month. Because when did the game come back out? I think that was in July. And then Beetlejuice and Jack was August. This is September. I'm assuming the next one is going to be like a Halloween themed season. So I would assume that's probably when we get the Wicked Witch. Probably when we get Scooby. Raven being a witch, more or less, kind of fits a Halloween theme. Marcy being a vampire fits a Halloween theme. So I feel like maybe we'll get one of them in this season, which is supposed to be like a female character-oriented season. Either way, the other I think would fit for Halloween, but we'll see how that goes. So let me see. Xenogears, check. Football. It's so good to be back. And the Saints winning by 37 points. It's so good to be back. And the Falcons, with all these expectations, losing and calling that the Patriots were going to beat the Bengals and getting it fucking correct. It's wonderful. I'm so happy. Partly, like, yes, I'm happy to be right. I'm happy to see the Falcons lose. I'm happy to see the Saints win. I'm just happy to watch football. That Packers-Eagles game sucked because the field was awful, but it seems like as after a while, the teams were kind of starting to adjust to it, and then it was fireworks, and it was a blast. Hate the way it ended. Like, I was rooting for the Eagles to win. It's like, I'm a Saints fan. I don't particularly have a dog in the fight. I'm like, I'm kind of good either way, but I guess I'm pulling more Philly. I didn't want to see it end like that. I don't think Philly fans wanted to see it end like that. The kickoff game was really fun. The fucking Kevin Durant way that it ended was wild. I've heard so many people like, dude, the Chiefs won by a toenail. I'm like, I don't think I'd go that far. Because we saw Harbaugh on the sidelines, like, go for two, go for two. There's no guarantee they would have gotten it. Like, maybe they would have, and they would have had a walk-off win. That would have been crazy. It's also possible they would have went for 2 and then just not gotten it. We don't know. The Lions in overtime just run. One throw. Run. And the Rams couldn't do shit. Was wild to watch. I don't have a list of games in front of me. I basically only wrote down, like, the Saints and the Falcons. Something I do have to bring up, though. I had talked about, I think on a Thursday video, and I know I said it in my video with Chris, I flipped a coin to predict every Saints game of the season, kind of like what that Raiders fan did a few years ago. And it had us going 10-7, missing the playoffs, firing Dennis Allen, and the first game against Carolina, it said we were losing, and we didn't, and I'm very happy about that. But now there's the part of my brain that goes, okay, so the coin is wrong, you can throw it out. What if it's actually all reversed? Where every game I thought we were going to win, we lose. Every game I think we're going to lose, we win. Because it also had us losing to Dallas. So if we go into Dallas and lose, coin is out. Which, again, I flipped a fucking coin. Like, it's not like, oh, God, this has to be real. But I kind of got to think about it. It's like, if we beat Dallas and then we lose to Philly, I'm like, okay, the coin has been wrong thrice in a row. So does that mean we go 7-10, but make the playoffs? I mean, if the division is terrible like that, I guess that's not an impossibility, but what? That would mean we get swept by the Falcons, split with Carolina, but we sweep Tampa? I don't know. Even though this has us making, it's like if the reverse coin happens, like, I mean, we make the playoffs, so yay, but I don't know. It feels worse than the other alternative in its own weird way. But I don't know. I thought I'd bring that up, but I'm happy to be watching football again. There's a game tonight. I believe it's Miami and Buffalo. I'm hoping it'll be a fun game. Hoping it'll be an exciting game. Let's see. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the fucking Will Levis play where he throws the pick six that he's just on his knees watching. Like, I feel for the guy, but like, that is fucking funny. I think I'm a Saints fan. I say that a lot. I was like, I feel like I always have to like disclaim what I'm about to say, but like I am a Saints fan, but that image of Andy Dalton throwing a pick 6 on Thursday night, I think it was his second in a row, and you see him just like as he's starting to walk off the field, and you see in the background a Cardinals player leaping into the end zone is so funny. Like, even I think that's fucking hysterical. I wanted to bring that up. Talked about Horizons, talked about Multiverses, I talked about House, I talked about Black Swan, which wasn't on the list because I hadn't watched it yet. Yeah, bar results are tomorrow. Yay? Or not yay? Or like yay? I'm not sure. I'll find out tomorrow. In terms of writing, in terms of Severance, I really didn't do much last week. I finished chapter 3 in a couple days. I was like, all right, now I'm going to make some progress on chapter 4, and I'm going to be really excited for it. And I just, like, didn't. I did a little bit at the end of the week, and I did a little bit, on Tuesday. I just haven't been feeling it. Now, I guess I'll say this, like, when I'm actually sitting down and working, it's clicking, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm not feeling the motivation for it right now, so I think I need to take another break. I did do, like, a third of the story in a couple weeks. I feel like genuinely I've done some good work on it. I've said I want to finish this, like, go through by the end of the year. That's still a possibility, but I don't want to burn myself out. I don't want to get to a point where I'm like, I hate looking at this fucking thing. I'm exhausted, and I can't look at it with, like, a sharp, fresh mind. So I feel like, let me take, like, a week or so, we'll see, not touch it, and then probably, I mean, I guess we are in mid-September, it's like the 12th, so I don't know, maybe around the 20th or so, ish, say, all right, let's get back to this, let's start really getting into the long chapters. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to, like, think of the next sentence I wanted to say. I think what I really wanted to say is, like, while the quantity of work last week, like, in the past 7 days, hasn't been where I've wanted it to be, I feel like the quality of what I have done has been quite good, and I will take that, and after a bit of a break, and I can rest, and refresh, and recharge, I can get quality and quantity done. That sounds good to me. And I've kind of been in, like, a weird funk and mood the past week. It's kind of what I was saying earlier. I was like, I haven't been, like, watching / reading as much Xenogears. Not because I don't like Xenogears. I've just been in, like, a bit of a funk. And I felt it yesterday, too. And there was a point where I was gonna, like, head home kind of early. And then Clay's just like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know. I got things I want, and it didn't feel like option paralysis, where I'm like, I got so much shit to do, I don't know what to do. It was like, I've got shit to do, and I just have no desire to do anything. And it's not even like I just want to lay down and rest and chill for a bit. I'm like, I just kind of want to not do anything kind of vibe. I don't like that. Then we talked for a bit, and I was like, I think I just kind of need to take a break from Severance for a bit. And as soon as I, like, articulated that to another person, I felt so much better. Like, I felt like a weight lift off my shoulders. I felt more energized. And I was like, you know what? I feel good. I'm going to overwatch Xenogears. So, I think a combination of it has been, I've done a lot with Severance. I'm a little burnt out. And there's the part of me that's been saying, hey, keep going. And another part of me that's like, you did a third of the story. This is a nice time to take a bit of a break. And me really wanting to do that, but feeling guilty if I do, and just, that's kind of affected me. Work was a bit stressful, just like, here's some high priority stuff with a tight deadline that we really need to get done. We were able to get it done, but just like my brain being my brain is like, hey, come on, like, do it, get it. Was there something else? I mean, I guess the bar results coming up, I feel like that hasn't been affecting me as much. Like, every now and then I'm like, oh yeah, shit. I don't know if I'm excited or dreading this. But it doesn't help, but I don't think it's super hurt either. I think also just being like, man, I'm so behind on these Horizons videos, and I want to, like, do them, because I know people don't want watch them. I know most people don't watch these anyways, but I like doing them, and I like documenting my progress through it. Like, even if it's not important to someone else, which I get, it's important to me, and that's why I want to get it done. But the fact that I haven't been getting it done is bothering me. I'm like, this is bothering me, this is bothering me, this is bothering me. But I think saying I'm taking a severance break is helpful. Going ahead and getting chapter 10 done today, which I plan on doing after this and before work, I think will be helpful. And then hopefully, because I'm off tomorrow, I work Saturday, I'm off Sunday. I don't work, but it's football. Like, I ain't doing shit otherwise. Maybe like Sunday morning I can get one done. I'm hoping I can make some progress on the Horizons videos Friday. So I think that's it. So have a good day. Have a good weekend. I'll see you in the next one, which again is probably Horizons or Black Swan.